Welcome to Project Edward and the first day of an exciting week of road trips, events and live broadcasts. My name's James Luckhurst and I'm very pleased to be here in Plymouth at Marsh Mills to tell you all about this year's activity, which is very exciting. There are 3 road trips. They're all at the very start of their journeys this morning. One is in Dundee, a second is in Ely, and as I said, we're here in Marsh Mills on the outskirts of Plymouth, where there's already an enticing array of people and vehicles ready to share some of their successes that have followed the introduction of a Vision Zero strategy for this region. Well, details of our exact locations can be seen on the Project Edward website, so do take a look at that, projectedward.org. You can follow the progress of each of the 3 road trips and the cruise as we make our way across the nation in our 5-day odyssey. So it's all very exciting. We're really looking forward to lots of exciting visits and meeting some very interesting people and showcasing, of course, some great examples. Inspire us over the coming days. But before we go any further, here's an introduction to Project Edward 2021.
Every road death is a tragedy, whatever the circumstances, and devastating for everyone involved. Road deaths are avoidable, and we all have a part to play in improving road safety. So pedestrians, cyclists, riders and drivers, please play your part and help keep us safe on Scotland's roads. We are proud to be supporting Project Edward.
It's about people staying safe, concentrating on what they're doing and thinking about the problems there can be on the roads.
So there you are. Now you know all there is to know about Project Edward 2021, or at least a general overview. But let's now start getting a little bit more specific. I'm very pleased that we have with us Alison Hernandez, who's the Police and Crime Commissioner for this region, Devon and Cornwall, and of course, the National Lead for Road Safety for the Association of Police and Crime Commissioners. Alison, we're thrilled that you're here. It's very exciting. There's an amazing array of things happening here. Tell us what's your first impression of arriving here at Marsh Mills and what you've seen.
Well, I have to say I'm thrilled that you organise such amazing things to raise awareness with the public about what's going on our roads. You know, this is fantastic. I mean, just to see all the different emergency services here. We've got all sorts of people here who are absolutely committed to driving down those road deaths. You know, we don't want to see, there was 1,472 people who died on our roads last year. That is an absolutely immense amount. And in Devon and Cornwall, it was 34. And while we think that, you know, that's a lot less than it was the year before, that's people's lives and families who have been absolutely devastated. And we want to stop that. So I'm delighted and thrilled to be here, I have to say.
Tell us what people say to you when you ask them about road safety, the communities that you're serving, and what their thoughts are.
Well, everywhere I go, whether it's in a public meeting, it's knocking on someone's door in campaigning time, it's wandering around the community, and when I'm in the supermarket, I get so many people talk to me about worry about bad driver behaviour in particular. So they see, and we did this survey as the National Police and Crime Commissioners, over 66,000 people completed it. Thank you very much if you were one of them. But we did a survey and people said, over 70% of people said, we witness really bad driving behaviour daily or weekly in the streets where we live. So we know if you're going to drive pretty poorly with the people you actually might respect and live with, you're going to drive like that even worse if you're in a community that you don't know or understand. So we know we've got a big job to do. And I think that's why I've got to, I've driven this sort of portfolio forward and set it up as a national one for all police and crime commissioners. And it's just absolutely critical that we work with our public to help them be good behind the wheel and be good when they're using our roads.
Let's talk about Vision Zero, because that's very close to your heart, something that you've really driven here. Tell us about the success of it, how it's going now, and what the next steps will be.
Well, having an ambitious target of 0 deaths on our roads in the next 20 years, everyone says you're a bit mad to go, to such an extreme that you really think you're going to achieve it. And I've said at the moment, if we don't have something that's ambitious, we're never going to be radical. We're never going to make that step change. We're never going to make that difference. So I'd rather try and fail than I would us have, just carry on as we are, because it's not enough what we're doing. You can see by all the emergency services involved in Project Edward today, we all work together as part of Vision Zero. And we've got a job to do over the next 10 years to reduce it by 50%. And at the moment, we've already started. I mean, I'm launching a dash cam camera project today here with National Highways. We're going to help some businesses on the A38, put them in their vehicles and really help catch and have more eyes and ears on the road. If you think you're being watched, you're more likely to use the correct behaviour.
That's really exciting. How's that come about then?
Well, for us, we've got OpSnap, and there's nearly all forces now across the country, for anybody listening, has got OpSnap or an equivalent of it, which is an ability for the public to upload their own dash cam or head cam footage that they have got where they've witnessed poor driver or a poor traffic incident on their roads. If it's clear enough with the registration or clear enough that the offence has occurred, the police will just automatically prosecute. So it's a really helpful way that the community can make a difference by those extra eyes and ears on the road, being able to upload that footage really simply. So just Google it, OpSnap in your force area, and see what they've got available to you. But most forces have them now.
I'm thrilled that there are so many people who are here taking part. We've got people coming in to have a chat and engage. What I'm going to ask you is for your advice, because nobody yet has managed to find out the exact formula for engaging with those who don't want to engage. And I'm thinking particularly young males, because they are such, they have lots of collisions. Do you have any thoughts on how we could fill this space with young male drivers and get them excited about driving more safely?
Well, this is part of the reason why PC Messenger has got police Lotus vehicle here.
Oh, I tell you what, we're going to walk and talk.
Over and have a look.
Shall I walk backwards?
Oh, he's actually a sergeant
is that
now.
safe?
Sorry, Owen will kill me for saying he's a PC only. But so yeah, we've got the Lotus here now. So this is about people wanting to talk to the police about road safety by going, oh, let's have a look at your car. And it's an absolute beauty, isn't it? I mean, I'm not even interested in cars. To me, that looks like a bike. Yeah, whatever.
I should tell you what my wife says about my driving and my ability with cars, but I won't.
Oh.
It's a family show.
Oh, what are you like? Well, I drive a Volkswagen 1-litre car, so a move up. I mean, you couldn't get more lower spec than opposite of this Lotus. But I think there's something about, having the tools and techniques to make young people want to speak to the police about these issues. So this is used as an engagement vehicle. But we've also got George's Car Media here, who's on YouTube. He's got his own channel, and he does really fab work with, Owen, who stands there, talks about how you're going to get caught by the police. What are the things you can do to reduce that? Don't speed. And he talks about all these different things of customizing on your cars that are illegal and how you make sure that they are appropriate for driving, all about keeping young men safer on the roads.
I've got one last task for you, Alison, if I may, and that is, here we are, the start of the 3 Project Edward road trips. There's us here in Plymouth, there's Neil and his crew in Dundee, and there's Simon and his crew in Ely and Cambridgeshire. But for all of us on this day, from you, in your position as the national lead, would you be very kind and say a few words to get us on our way and to formally declare the Project Edward 2021 road trip open?
Well, I could say something like go, 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 but I don't want to get everyone excited and start doing something silly behind the wheel. So what I will say is let's do this in a really calm send-off. It's fantastic that the whole country is going to be engaged in this whole week of Project Edward. And I'm really delighted that we've got your vehicle that's going to lead the convoy, moving up the road, trying to promote on our roads what it is that we're trying to achieve this week. If we can reduce some road deaths this week as a result, fantastic. So what I will say is keep yourself safe on the road. Make sure everyone driving is doing the right thing when you get on your convoy. Well done.
I'll let you into a quick secret. The last convoy I was in June 2001. It started at Claridge's Hotel in London and it went to Edgware in North London. In the front car, escorted by some very shiny motorcycles, was the Crown Prince of Japan. And in the back car was me.
Oh, well,
How about that?
I'm sorry it's such a come down that, what you've got is me this time with your big road trip. So nowhere near as exciting, I'm afraid.
I'm thrilled. I'm very grateful. Alison Hernandez, Police and Crime Commissioner, thank you very much for sparing us the time. I think the time has now come where we need to find out what's going on in our other road trips. So I believe we have the opportunity now to link to Neil Barrett in Dundee.
Hello and welcome to Dundee. I hope you can hear me. We are here at the Riverside. It's a beautiful day. You can see the famous Tay Bridge there, and more importantly for us, a police operation going on behind us. You can see speed checks. They're checking for defects in vehicles, and they're speaking to drivers as well and giving out advice here in this Project Edward Week. But this is our car. This is our black car. We have taken it up all the way from the south of England to Dundee yesterday. We are pleased to have it here as part of this operation today, and we are all over Scotland, well, south of Scotland. We're heading south over the next day and a half, and we've got all sorts of events, but more on those later. But I just wanted to show you inside the car because this is no ordinary car. I should just mention we're really grateful to Kia for supporting us by giving us our 3 vehicles for the week. These are Kia Soul electric vehicles, so we're an eco-friendly road trip. We're grateful to our sponsors. We've got sponsors for the branding, the charging. We're working with Driving for Better Business as well. This is the website. Do have a look. You can see where we are, you can see what we're doing, you can see where we're going as well, and you can also see the times that you can tune into our other broadcasts. Now, in the car with me, you'll see I'll shut the door just to give it a bit more. There we are. In the car with me, we have James Dewhurst, who is the UK and Ireland sales manager for Webfleet Solutions, and they've provided some kit for us. Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome to Dundee. Sun is always shining on Dundee.
It is, and it's really, really beautiful. And this is a beautiful car, and you've helped us with some kit. Now, there's some kit that you're going to show us that we can see, but also under here, there's some kit that we can't see as well. Talk us through it.
Yeah, let's start with under the bonnet, because that is probably the most important part of this journey. So from Webfleet, what we've installed is a telematics device. So people might not know what telematics means. To explain that, you're talking about vehicle tracking and driver behavior combined. So a black box device that sits under the dashboard of the vehicle and connects to the vehicle to be able to provide you with information and data surrounding your driving style. It can also be information such as fuel consumption information, or in this case, electrical charge. So because these vehicles being very unique for the first time with Project Edward, you're driving electric, which is the way that the whole world is going to be going over the next 10 years. This is the future of the way vehicles are going to be. So we're connecting in with a black box, which people, I heard Alison there speaking about young drivers and how they struggle to engage with them. Black boxes sometimes with insurance are the only way that some young drivers will get insured. So some people will be very familiar with this technology, some people won't. But what we're going to do is provide you information on driving behavior, driving style, and how to improve that throughout this journey.
Thank you. Now, you work with a number of fleet operators. You've been saying you've got fleet operators and vehicles all over Europe. Remind me again, how many boxes have you got in these things?
So across Europe, we're talking about 1.1, 1.2 million connected devices, ranging from the telematics device you'll see in these vehicles to connecting to tire pressure monitoring systems as well, to give fleet operators real safety-based information on their vehicles, keeping them compliant, keeping them safe, and also very efficient as well.
Yeah. Now, before you turn the key or even press the start button in this vehicle's case, there's a lot of things you can do, and the technology can help with that and making sure drivers and the vehicles are fit for the road. So tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I guess the thing we need to look at as well is that there's really important things you need to prepare for, obviously, with trips, and that could be from checking the tire pressures to making sure that you've got the right oil in the engine. But what we're looking at as well is also thinking about the road ahead, how fit you are for the road by planning for that journey. So as part of the Project Edward setup, we've also planned the routes for you and where you're going to go. So I know that it's going to be very important for you going forward that you know exactly where you're going and where you can also charge as well. So that anticipation, reducing your anxiety on the road, will make you a better driver, will make you a safer driver. So planning your routes for you, as we can see, we've got on the device here where you're going next for the rest of the day, and also where do you stop for the right period of time, so you're not rushing, you're leaving enough time for the journey, you're not rushing the whole time, and you're getting to the stage where you're going to be arriving safe and in one piece.
Which is exactly what we need. Now, back in the UK, we know you're working with government agencies and you do a bit of work with National Highways and Driving for Better Business, and it's quite exciting for you at the moment.
Yeah, I think the other part is we are a data company. So it's not just about how you get the data from the vehicle, it's how you change that into critical insights. Because if you just provide somebody with basic information, they're not going to be able to make change. What you need to do is give them that data in an insightful form so that they can actually say, identify trends. If they're looking at a fleet, they can get from 300 vehicles down to the 1 or 2 vehicles that are causing the biggest risk and make sure they modify that risk. So we're driving for better business, and for where I know with the work we're doing with other agencies, we're really looking at taking that data, benchmarking it so that fleet operators can actually go onto the website and say, well, how are we comparing to other, similar industries? We're measuring things like harsh steering, we're measuring speeding, we're measuring, harsh braking, all those instances which actually lead to more incidents on the road. If you have more of those incidents, you are more at risk of having an accident. So how do you reduce that down? How do you provide prompts to the drivers, either when they're driving, through safe mechanisms, or retrospectively to allow them to change their behavior in the long term?
Lots of data to back that up, as you say. I should also say we've got a Next-based dash cam in here, and we're giving those away all week. Do look on the website. James already mentioned it. Got that kit there. The TomTom device we mentioned there is linked into Webfleet's equipment. Also a heads-up display, which we found very useful driving up here. Eyes on the road as much as possible. Come back to us in a few minutes and we'll be talking about the roadside operation, James.
Oh, thank you very much, Neil. Lots going on in Dundee. Now, I've just kept Alison Hernandez back, our Police and Crime Commissioner, because I forgot to give you that. At great expense, we've had a plaque, a little bit of a memento done, but that's not just for you, that's for everybody in Vision Zero Southwest. So thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. That's absolutely wonderful. Actually, it's a good little marker that we're starting on our journey to really make that difference in Vision Zero. So I really appreciate it.
And we're there with you. Alison, thank you so much. Now we're going to pause for a moment and look back at one brave individual's recollections of a truly horrific event in July 2012. Elba Toomey was on holiday in Devon from her home in Ireland. With her was her husband, her little boy, and Elba was also excited to be expecting another baby. All was going well until she and the family found themselves in the path of a taxi driver in Torquay. Elba takes up the story.
My name is Elba Toomey. I was involved in a horrific road traffic collision whilst on a family holiday in Devon in July 2012. While we were all wearing seatbelts and my precious little 16-month-old son, Baba O'Sheen, was in a very safe car seat, the impact of our crash was so enormous that it tragically claimed the life of my precious little Baba and his unborn sister. I was 5 months pregnant at the time. The impact was predominantly on the driver's side, so it left my darling husband Con with irrecoverable head injuries, from which he passed away 10 months later. Many months later, I learned from a family liaison officer that paramedics, on arrival at the scene of our crash, had been furiously working on Con and O'Sheen for several minutes when they heard a moan from the passenger seat area. They hadn't seen anybody there, but when they examined closer, they found me in the footwell, under the airbag. Where would I have ended up if I wasn't wearing a seatbelt? We were all rushed to hospital, and family from home in Cork were alerted. Our families travelled over to find me in a coma with a severe diffuse head injury, shattered jaw, smashed pelvis and lots more. My sister Norma told me that while I was in a coma in ICU, she noticed the burn marks and mentioned to a nurse, who showed her privately my seatbelt burns, which dominated the remaining black and blue me. Because I was wearing a seatbelt, I am alive today. Although I had a severe brain injury from which I recovered, thank God, I am now in my final year of accountancy exams. My pelvis was shattered and I have double pelvic plates, but today I like to clock up my 10,000 steps comfortably. Should I have survived and not been wearing my seatbelt, I suspect I would be leading a very different life. No doubt I would not have the grace of independence to be able to walk, talk, or drive or moan about exams. Please belt up. Seatbelts not only save lives, but they help you to save your independence, your mind and your instinct to get up and go.
Our thanks and very best wishes go to Elba Toomey, who has been a great supporter of the Project Edward initiative ever since it started. Thank you, Elba. Now, we should be able to cross to the other side of the country and meet Simon Turner and the road trip crew who are in Ely in Cambridgeshire. Simon, over to you.
Good morning, everybody. We're here in Marketplace in Ely in the centre of Cambridgeshire, and this is the white car that we're driving around the country all of this week. And all three of the cars are Kia Soul electric vehicles that have been kindly loaned to us for the week by Kia UK. So all our thanks go to Kia for lending us these vehicles. We're aiming to do the trip as safely as possible. So they're all equipped with the latest passive and active safety systems to keep us safe while we're driving around, such as emergency braking systems and adaptive cruise control. So it got us all here safely. And what we've got here today, if I just pan around here, you'll be able to see one of the events that we've got on in the centre of Ely, and we're going to be talking to a lot of these people throughout the day and putting them into the afternoon broadcast. But there's a lot of stuff going on in the town, and my first guest I'm going to talk to is Matt Staton, who is the Vision Zero lead for the Cambridgeshire and Peterborough partnership. Matt, it's a great event going on. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about the event?
Of course, yeah. Good morning, everyone. So what we've got here is a Vision Zero partnership event about Surround the Town for Ely. We are doing all of the pillars of the safe system approach. So we've got exhibits around safe road users, safe vehicles, safe speeds, safe road use, safe roads, and post-collision response. So we're covering all of the pillars within the safe system approach around one event.
Fantastic. And with the Vision Zero strategy, that's something you've had in place now for a little while. How long have you had that in place, and what sort of what are your objectives? What challenges are you facing locally that you hope the strategy is going to meet?
Yeah, so we set our Vision Zero partnership up last year, evolved the road safety partnership as existed to be in line with the safe systems approach. So that's been in place a year, obviously an interrupted year with COVID. So this is really the first kind of event where we're showcasing how we bring all of those pillars together to focus on road safety and get the benefits of that.
Fantastic. Now, the event here opened just about 25 minutes ago. Plenty of people here already, and the weather looks like we're set for a good day. What can people actually see while they're down here?
So we've got Outspoken Cycling doing some promotion activity around cycling. They're the cycle training provider that do the bikeability in the schools. We've got the Fire Engine here showing the vision around a large vehicle. And we've got the PCAM Advanced Motorcycle Training here, who offer subsidised courses for us. A Play Street, safe way that community can use their street environment. The Road Safety Team, the Road Victims Trust. I hope I haven't forgotten anybody, but we've got lots going on. We've got other police enforcement activity going on around the city. And we've also got vehicle checks and child car seat checks going on at the local supermarket as well.
Fantastic. Now, Daryl Preston, you're the PCC for Cambridgeshire and Peterborough. I think you were newly elected in May. What does road safety mean for the region? What does it mean to you as a PCC?
Well, it's a number one priority, and it really has to be that. When I was out on the election trail, and since then we've done numerous surveys, and I've been out and about talking to our communities. Road safety and in particular speeding is a key issue in our towns, villages and cities. But here's the thing. I mean, I'm an ex-police officer, and I've had to deal with some really, really horrible accidents. And the fact is here that just too many people are dying or seriously injured on our roads, and that's why Vision Zero and road safety partnerships are so important. But it's not just about enforcement. It's not just about giving out tickets. It's about those key messages. And from what I've been told, it's speeding is the number one killer on our roads. And please let's slow down and take all the messages.
And there's a lot of activities here today which will help get that message across. Daryl, thank you very much for that. And thirdly, I've got Mark Turner, who's the Chief Executive of the Road Victims Trust. Oh, we're on mute.
This might have to be fairly tight, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Mark, you're the Chief Executive of the Road Victims Trust. What does the Road Victims Trust do? I know you kind of support victims from collisions, but perhaps you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, absolutely. We're a registered charity. We cover Cambridgeshire, Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire, and we give emotional and practical support to every person that's been affected by a road death or life-changing injury across the three counties. And unfortunately, each year across the 3 counties, 85 to 90 people will lose their lives, with hundreds more severely traumatised. We're a charity that provides counselling. We work in partnership with the Police and Crime Commissioner, who generously funds us, the road safety partnerships. And it's delightful that we've got that going on within the 3 counties, because elsewhere, nationally...
Ollie's last name again? Just
Taylor.
Taylor.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mark. We're going to talk to some of the stand holders later on, some of the exhibitors here, and find out what they're doing to contribute to road safety in the local region. And we'll try and bring you some of their stories this afternoon. Back to James.
Simon, thank you very much. I love Ely. It's a great city. So I hope you have a great day there. We don't have much time, so I'm going to come straight to meet.
You go,
Yes, Simon. Okay. Perhaps he wasn't talking to me at all. We're here now with a couple of minutes to go to talk to Inspector Ollie Taylor from Devon and Cornwall Police and Chris Boston from Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue. Chris, you're kind of behind all of this. We're at the start of something. We'll talk to you more a little bit later, but what are we about to do? What's going to happen?
Okay, so in about 20 minutes, we're going to be all collectively going off in a convoy, leaving Marshfields, Plymouth, heading up the A38, one of our big risk routes, and heading up to the Devon Air Ambulance Airbase at Exeter Airport, where we're going to be meeting many of our colleagues from Hart, from Devon and Cornwall Police, and we're going to be just joining more of our partnership and just promoting a lot more about road safety.
Inspector Taylor, just give us some idea of the reality when a large serious collision happens. What sort of resources are required to attend it?
It will depend an awful lot on the size and the nature of the collision, but in a standard, or no such thing as an average collision, but a standard response could well be 13 to 15 emergency service vehicles from both us, the police, the fire service, and the ambulance service, to be able to save life, treat the injured, and then obviously make sure the scene is safe before moving into the investigation phase, which again, down to the responsibility of the police to work out what happened and why it happened.
We'll reflect on that as we go along today, and as we meet the people at the fire academy, because I think we're going to have the air ambulance there. So the focus then, everybody, will be on post-crash care. We're very nearly out of time. Neil Barrett, are you still with us in Dundee?
Yes, I am, James. Hopefully you can hear me very quickly at the operation. We're going to have a more extended chat later, and we'll play that out later on. But I'm with Gordon Dixon, the sergeant here from the Dundee Roads Policing Unit, who's running the live operation right now. We're going to have a longer chat later, but for now, what is it you're doing by the roadside this morning?
We're carrying out road safety checks just in relation to speeding motorists in this area. We've had several complaints from residents and elected members down here. So my officers are just down here ensuring folk are adhering to the speed limits. They'll be looking to either educate or enforce anybody that's contravening the speed limits. As well as doing that, they'll also then look towards examining the vehicles, make sure there's no defects in tyres, etc., because it's all about road safety at the end of the day. We obviously stop and speak to people, look to educate them. However, we're not looking to take people's time away from things like that. It's all about their safety at the end of the day. So that's obviously one of the big things we look to do from that side of things.
Thanks very much. And we're going to have a chat after this, and we're going to talk and play that out later on. So thanks, Sergeant Gordon Dixon. Back to you, James.
Neil, that's fantastic. Thank you very much. Well, that's just about all we have time for, because we are under time pressure. We have to get all these vehicles from their parked positions at Marsh Mills into a convoy on the A38. And I'm very pleased that there's a vehicle being specially set aside for me. We're going to leave my co-driver, Darren, at the wheel of the Edward car, but I'll be heading off in this. So I should make Exeter within the hour. Let's hope so. Many thanks to everybody who has helped put this together. Devon and Somerset Fire and Rescue particularly for organising the event. I know we've got plenty to look forward to as we go to our next broadcast, which will be on this afternoon, and which will be hosted by Neil from the National Traffic Control Centre in Scotland. So do stay tuned for that. Check out the podcast. There's so much on the website. Please retweet and join the social media conversation. But for now, from our first 2021 Project Edward live broadcast, and from me, James Luckhurst in Plymouth, it's cheerio.